Welcome, my friends. It is that time again. Every time I turn around, it is Friday. And that means only one thing, man. It is Thursday, Thrashing Friday. Come on in, everybody. You are all welcomed in the house. How is everybody doing today on this glorious Friday morning? It's about 10 o'clock here in Colorado. It is May 16th, 2025. Come on in the house, everybody. Wipe your feet off at the door. I don't want any slobs in the house. Wipe your feet off. Don't bring no dog poo-poo in the house, man. When you come in, take a seat, grab a cream soda or a Yoo-hoo, whatever you'd like, because Uncle Vince is about to spend the next 30 minutes or so with you. I've got a hot topic today, bro. I've got a hot topic as it relates to the new WWE show on Netflix. Unreal. I'm going to tell you what's unreal. You really want to know what's unreal? I am going to tell you what is unreal. And guys, I want to make you part of this conversation. And all you have to do, man, is through a super sticker or a donation, you can ask any question you like. You can leave any comment you like. And like my friend CPB Station, I'm going to bring you up on the screen. I am going to make you a part of this conversation. Thank you, CPB. Happy Friday, brother. It's clear that the WWE is creatively bankrupt. It seems that this is yet another venture to stroke Mr. Triple H's ego. An inside look to make hot garbage. Hashtag Triple H. Hey, CPB Station said that. I didn't. But what I want to do today, guys, is Final Boss is now a YouTube member. Guys, you could become a YouTube member 99 cents a month. 99 cents a month and get an exclusive video just for you. And I want to add, if you are watching this on YouTube, please subscribe to the channel. It is free. Leave a comment, like the channel. Everything helps our algorithms, and we really appreciate it. Guys, I want to take you today inside the writer's room. I'm going to bring you inside the writer's room. And I'm going to tell you exactly what goes down and how it goes down. And then we are going to talk about WWE Unreal, because to me, it is unreal. Cliffside wants to know, did you ever get stage fright when you performed on TV? Never, Cliffside, because I simply put myself in the moment. I simply put myself in the moment. Guys, you got to hold on, man. Okay, I just got to admit, guys, I got an Airbnb. I got an Airbnb upstate New York, all my hard work, all my years in the business. And when I get a message from the Airbnb, I gotta stop and check and make sure everything's okay. No, bro, Cliff, I never got stage fright. I put myself in the moment, bro. I put myself in the moment. I'd say the very first night I went out on Nitro, I was a little nervous. The very night, that first night when me and Eric went out there, I was a little nervous. After that, bro, not nervous at all. Not nervous at all. Guys, I'm going to bring you inside of the writer's room. Instagram, Wrestling Historians, why was Bischoff the white Hummer driver in WCW? Bro, that was before my time, bro. I had nothing to do with that. a wrestling historian, so I can't answer that. You might have to ask Eric that question. I want to bring you guys inside the writer's room of the most successful period in the history of wrestling, when millions and millions and millions and millions of casual fans were watching professional wrestling. Let's go to Awesome Sauce. Awesome Sauce, you can write 6 hours of quality TV weekly. What show has that much content? That's like writing 2 summer blockbusters revert to 1-hour shows like in the 80s. Oh, you can't write? No, absolutely not. It's impossible, bro, to write 6 hours of quality TV a week. It's especially with the crew they got, bro. They're not capable of it, bro. Whose idea was it for David Arquette to wrestle? I'm sure it was me and Eric at the time, bro. We were the ones that were kind of putting that stuff together at WCW. Guys, let me bring you inside the writers' room. I will get to your super stickers, and I really appreciate them. I will get to every single one, but I want to try to get my my thought process going. And every time I stop and go to a super sticker, I kind of interrupt the flow. Please leave the super stickers. I will go back. I will get to every single one. Guys, let me tell you what a week looked like at the WWE from a creative standpoint. So as soon as Raw was over, we would fly back to Stamford, Connecticut. And I'm talking about me and Ed now, me and Ed Ferrara. We would fly back to Stamford, Connecticut. Usually, if you got back on a Tuesday, you really didn't get in the office till around midday. So you really could not do that much. So, I was also running the magazine at the time too, guys. So a lot of times when I came back on Tuesday, I had to make sure everything was good with the magazine. Okay, so now Raw is over. We get back to Stamford on Tuesday. We're only there for half a day. Really can't do that much. Now we get to Wednesday. Wednesday morning, bro, probably about 9 o'clock, Ed Ferrara would come to my house. Ed Ferrara and myself would go in my family room and we would turn on the Jerry Springer show. Now, guys, you got to understand, Springer was so hot back then. He was on a different channel from 9 to 10, 10 to 11, 11 to 12. He was on like 3 straight hours. And Ed and myself would begin writing the show with Jerry Springer playing in the background. Now, the first thing we had to do, bro, was we had to book the next pay-per-view. We had to book the pay-per-view first to know what the matches were going to be at the pay-per-view. Once we had the pay-per-view booked, we then went back and we looked at the 4 weeks of television. And we made sure every single match was represented in those 4 weeks of television. Whether it was Austin and Taker or D'Lo Brown versus Mosh, we made sure that every 4 weeks, every single week leading up to the pay-per-view, every single match was covered. So then we would lay out our chart week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4. We would start with match number 1, and we would carry that thread throughout all 4 weeks. Then we would go to the second match at the next pay-per-view, carry that thread out through 4 weeks. Now we're getting our elements of every show. So we would do that for every match on the card. So if there's 8 matches on the card, there are 8 stories that are going to be covered for 4 weeks of television. Now, once we do that, now we start formatting the show. What goes where? We always liked a beginning, a middle, and an end. What's in the first segment, what's in the 6th segment, and what's in the 11th segment. And once you had the beginning, middle, and end, you then used threads to carry that main story throughout the show. And sometimes you had 2 main stories that you carried throughout the show. And the whole idea was to keep the viewer glued to their television set. So you opened up with a hot angle. We knew what the story was for the night. We threaded it to the middle of the show. When we got to the middle of the show, we got another big beat. Hey, all of yous over there on Unreal, take notes, bro. Take notes of what I'm saying. So we knew what the middle beat was. Then we would thread it out to the end, and we would have our last segment where everything came to a close and ended with a cliffhanger. Now, Ed and I would format all 4 shows, guys. All 4 shows. I believe in the 2-hour Raw, there were 11 segments. 11. So we would have seg 1, seg 2. We would know where the commercial breaks are. We would write the dialogue. We would write the backstage vignettes. We would complete 4 formatted shows on paper. Okay, this is Wednesday now. Ed would leave my house. Then I would then go to my computer and write out all 4 shows. So before I went to bed that night, Wednesday night, we got all 4 shows on paper. We've got the pay-per-view covered 4 weeks in a row. Every match is covered. Every match is represented. I've got the formats. Now, Thursday, we go to Vince's house. Me and Ed Ferrara would go to Vince's house. We would sit at Vince's dining room table. Now, let me tell you what Vince looked like. Vince would usually have sweatpants on. He would usually have a sweatshirt with the sleeves cut off, and his hair was never combed. Never like you saw him on TV. He always looked like he just got out of bed. And of course, me and Ed are very, very, very casually dressed. Bro, during the course of the show, if Vince felt the need, he would lift his leg and drop a big fart on Ed and I. Usually about 2 o'clock, Vince would say, I need to take a power nap. And he would literally go and lay down for about 15 minutes and then come back. Now, during this session, which probably went around 9 in the morning till 6 in the evening, Ed and I laid out every single show to Vince. Every single segment, every single show we laid out to Vince. This is where if Vince had any questions, he would ask us. If Vince had any additions, he would give them to us. If Vince had any tweaks, we would add them. Now we're really fine-tuning the shows with Vince. I will tell you guys this, and I honestly, I don't give a crap whether you believe me or not. Vince would never change anything that we wrote. Nothing, bro. What he would do he would punch it up. He would dot I's, cross T's, made sure everything made sense. The nuances that Vince always talked about. That's what we got from Vince that day. Vince never changed a match, never changed the main event, never changed an opening segment, never changed anything. We presented Vince with 4 complete shows. Vince did not have to fill in any of the blanks because there were no blanks. And Vince would take that show that he had in front of him and he would put his Vince McMahon genius touches to it. Genius touches to it. If we had a segment at an 8, Vince would bring that segment to a 10. That's why the shows were so good. Vince McMahon cannot write a wrestling show on a blank piece of paper. You've got to give him the shows complete. And that's what we did. He had 4 shows. 4 shows. We went through every single one. Now, I get home Thursday night. I take all Vince's notes. I would go back and incorporate them in the original formats. So now I got Vince's feedback. I would go back and add Vince's notes to the show. Now, on Friday, usually about 4 o'clock, I would get called up to Vince's office and I would have the final format. And this was usually just me. Ed usually didn't go on Friday. I would have the final format with Vince's comments, and we would go through that entire show one last time. Now, once that was done, I would make sure I got the show to all the big players. I would make sure Austin had the show, The Rock had the show, Taker had the show. I would make sure the big players had the show. So when they got there, they had already looked over the show. They had already made notes on the show. If they had any changes or anything they wanted to add or subtract, they would call me. By the time we got to the building, those shows did not change, bro. Ever. They never changed because we had already gone through all the shows with Vince. We had already finalized all the show with Vince, and I had already sent the shows to the major players. So if Austin had a question, he would have called me. If Rock had a question, he would have called me. And we would have went over that on a Friday. So by the time you get to that building on Monday, everybody knows what they're doing. Everybody knows what they're doing. The main players have seen the show. Vince gave the show his blessing. I know what pre-tapes I'm shooting. Ed knows what pre-tapes he's shooting. This was a well-oiled machine. And this process repeated itself week after week after week after week. It never changed. This was a 3-man team. And before Ed, it was just me and Vince. Me and Vince were doing it for a while, just the two of us, for a good amount of time there. And then, Vince said, Vince, the company's booming. I got too much on my plate, bro. I can't do this with you anymore. We got to find you a partner. And that's when we brought Ed into the fold. And that's when it was me and Ed. Vince went about and did his business. And we met with Vince on Thursday went over the entire shows with him. And then on Friday, I got together with Vince one more time. That was the process, guys. That was the process. It was relaxed. It was casual. We had laughs. We even had time, guys. When we went to Vince's house, there was this great, I don't even know how you would describe it in Greenwich, Connecticut, but you could go there for lunch. We would get hot food and bring it back to the house. So we even took time for lunch, bro. This was the process, bro. This was the process when 8 million people were watching the show, bro. Do you understand? Do you understand? This was the process. And then I tell you guys all the freaking time, when I almost went back in 2002 and Vince brought me into the writer's room, bro, there was about 12 to 15 writers in that room. About 12 to 15 writers. My jaw dropped. Bro, we were a 3-man team. What the frig? 3 guys, 2 guys are replaced by 15? And I remember Vince saying to me, I was like, Vince, why are there so many freaking writers? And Vince said to me, Vince, you got to understand now, we're a publicly trained company. There are shareholders that we have to, report to. And I'm like, Vince, I understand that, but the product sucks, bro. I don't care how many shareholders you got to report to. I could give a crap. The show stinks. You got 15 writers and the show stinks, bro. And I might add, 2 of the people in that room were the Walrus and Michael Hayes. So we literally, you went from 2 writers to 15. Literally, between September of 99 to 2002. In 2 years, bro, you went from 2 writers to 15 writers, bro. 15. Bro, you ever hear the old saying, guys, KISS? You know what KISS means, bro? You know what KISS means? Keep it simple, stupid. Keep it simple, stupid. Writing a wrestling show is not rocket science. And as a matter of fact, if you know what you're doing, it writes itself, bro. You let it organically write itself. It's not that hard. So, here is the question, guys. If it's not that hard, can somebody tell me what this is? What the F is this? This is a writer's room? You went from me and Ed Ferrara watching Jerry Springer for 4 hours, walking across the street to go to the mall for lunch, making fun of people walking around the mall for about 30 minutes, then going back to my house, how drawing 8 million people, how do we get from that to this? How do you go from that to this? Guys, this is creative. You know what this is, guys? Let me tell you what this is. This is corporate creative. And that's why the creative sucks, bro. How in God's name, the good name of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, how in God's name Are you going to be creative wearing a shirt and tie in a boardroom? Bro, do you think, bro, the two dudes that created South Park, Parker and Stone, you think this is how they go to a creative meeting, bro? You think this is what a South Park creative meeting looks like? You think Larry David and Jerry Seinfeld worked in this kind of setting? This is the least creative environment that you could possibly have, bro. You got 8 guys, 8 people in suits and ties. And bro, look who's at the head of the table. Bro, let me make one thing perfectly clear to you. When it was me, Ed, and Vince did not sit at the head of the table, bro. He either sat next to me or sat next to Ed. Vince was not at the head of the table, and Ed and I were not on either side kissing his freaking ass for 9 hours. This picture tells you everything you want to know of why the creative sucks. You got freaking 7 jabronis kissing Triple H's ass in a boardroom wearing a suit. That's what this is, bro. I swear to God, bro, never would I ever be able to work in this type of an environment. Look at this, bro. You're asked to be creative. You're asked to think outside of the box. And bro, you're smack right dab in the middle of the box. You're in a box, bro. You're in a conference room. You're wearing a suit and tie. Triple H is sitting at the head of the table. And you're all there like 7 minions, 8 minions, hoping and praying that you pitch something he likes. And then you wonder why these shows suck. They suck, guys. The shows suck. I don't care if you're a mark, if you're not a mark, these shows suck. And now I understand why they suck. Because I see the creative process, bro. 7 jabronis wearing suits, sitting around a table, kissing Triple H's ass, bro. That's why the creative process sucks. And how you go from 2 Italian guys, bro, one from Jersey, one from Long Island, sitting in a room, watching Jerry Springer, then sitting down with Vince McMahon in his sweats while he's lifting his leg like a St. Bernard and farting. How do you go from that to this? Oh, bro, because we're corporate now. Yeah, exactly, bro. You are corporate now. And you know what it means being corporate? You know what that means? It means there's a total disconnect with the fans. That's what it means, bro. It's a total disconnect. Because who are your fans, bro? Who are your fans? Your fans are blue-collar workers. They've always been blue-collar workers. And what do blue-collar workers, what do they despise the most? White-collar workers. And that's what you've got in that boardroom. A bunch of sticks up their ass, white-collar workers. And you can't figure out why this show is not appealing to the masses? You can't figure this out. You're writing a wrestling show in a boardroom, kissing the boss's ass, and you can't figure out why this show stinks? Awesome sauce. Would you rather watch one more year of Raw or get hit with 100 mile per hour? I would take the 40 100-mile-per-hour fastballs, bro. Without a shadow of a doubt, I would take the fastballs. Gabe Tough. You'd rather have 80s Roger Clemens or 80s Mattingly? I would say 80s Mattingly, bro, because Mattingly plays every day and Clemens pitches every fifth day. Johnny Karate. Hey, Vince, what is your biggest passion and why? My biggest passion is my family. And that should be your biggest passion. Not freaking wrestling. Your family. That should be your biggest passion. Get your head out of your coolers. Danimal. I thought I was a mark, but I love Vince Russo. Then you're not a mark. If you love me, you're not a mark. If you love me, you get it. Russo. You wrote 4 weeks in advance along with Heat. Did you adjust the shows after each live show? Yes, absolutely. 1,000%. Russo number one. 1,000%. We had the first show complete. We pretty much had the next three. But then if something worked, if something didn't work, if something didn't go according to plan, if something got over that we weren't planning on, yes, then we would go back and we would look at the next show and make the adjustments. Great question. I don't know how you do that with 8 guys in a freaking suit sitting around in a boardroom. I don't know how you do that, bro. Real numbers. Thank you, my friend. 10 skins, bro. 10 skins. WWE now is a big corporation entity. Their objective is only turning a profit. Bingo! Bingo! Milk the marks. The characters and stories can be as lackluster and unappealing. No more. Yes, exactly, bro. All they have to do, real numbers, is fulfill their contracts. What that means is all they have to do is give Netflix 2.5 hours of content on a Monday night. All they got to do is give USA Network 3 hours on a Friday night. It doesn't have to be good. It could be the drizzle and shits as long as they fulfill their contractual obligations. But here's the question that I always ask. That's fine, bro. I get it. Where's your freaking pride? Guys, whose name is at the end of every one of these shows? There's 2 people's names. Triple H and Elroy Fitting. I have no idea who Elroy Fitting is. I think it's a guy with a questionable past, I want to say. At the end of every show. Bro, if I'm Triple H and my name is on the TV after every freaking show, you damn bet it's going to be the best show I could possibly produce. And bro, I swear to God, if I was Triple H, I would at least tell them, take my name off the credits, please. I don't want them holding me responsible for this. Please take my name off the credits. I swear to God, that's what I would do. Either you're going to write the best show you possibly can, or you're going to phone it in, bro. One of the two. Demons Row. All those writers, and we get no storylines. It's like Seth, he's bossing Braun around, and you could see the blow off from the beginning. They can't do anything different. Dead on, Demons. This is the most predictable I have ever seen professional wrestling in my lifetime, guys. You know every single thing that's going to happen. It is Wrestling 101. Johnny Karate. Corporate is a fancy way of promoting censorship. Well, yeah, bro, they're not going to be edgy. They're not going to rock the boat. They're going to be safe, bro. Bro, how can wrestling be safe? That defies the entire meaning of wrestling. How can a professional wrestling show be freaking safe? Can somebody explain that to me, bro? That's like a bullfight being safe. Alejandro. Can you hear the drums, Alejandro? Guys, I want to tell you something before I get to Alejandro's. I've been dealing with depression a lot lately, bro, because my age is starting to kick in and I'm starting to feel my own morality, and I know I'm not going to be around forever, mortality, whatever. Bro, whenever you get depressed, I'm going to give you a quick fix to get out of your depression. Go on YouTube and watch ABBA videos. Watch ABBA videos on YouTube. Because those two ladies and their two husbands don't have a worry or care in the world. Mamma mia, here I go again. The winner takes it all. Dancing queen. Always smiling. Always stepping in tune with each other. And you sit there and you watch ABBA videos, and then you realize, what was I depressed about? Look at ABBA. Look at, how could I be depressed with ABBA? Okay, Alejandro. I'm giving AEW another chance. There's at least 4 to 5 storylines in AEW more compelling than anything Triple Nose has come up with in the past 2 years. I'm so done with Triple H's 5th grade booking. Guys, Alejandro, I just showed you the booking room, bro. How is anything creative possibly going to come out to that? Bro, can you imagine Parker and Stone, South Park? Can you imagine them, bro, sitting in a conference room with a long table and bottles of water and erase boards and coming up with South Park? Can you imagine, bro? Bro, I don't know about you guys. I cannot even tell you the last time I put on a suit and tie. I swear to God, it was probably when I first started at the WWE, and I changed the dress code at the WWE. When I started at the WWE, it was shirt and tie. I could not. I can't stand shirt and tie. I changed the dress code single-handedly. And I'll tell you how I did that on another show. But guys, I don't know about you. When I got that collar buttoned to the top and I am being choked out by a effing necktie, oh my God. How am I going to be creative? You guys watch Curb Your Enthusiasm. You see how Larry David freaking dresses? Oh my God. All right, let's go back to Al. Do you hear the drums, Alejandro? WWE is the biggest company, but don't get the best writers. It's gotten so sad and pathetic. I'm coming up with better material in my head. Yeah, because you know why? Here's why, Alejandro. Because the old guards are still involved in the creative. And what the old guards do is they are going to intimidate any new writer coming in. What do you know about wrestling? Who have you ever beaten? Yada, 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 yada bullshit. So it's always going to be the same old crap, bro. Cliffside, thanks for the description, Vince. Now we got to hear Tommy Carlucci's week from the... Oh, I would love to hear that, Cliffside. I would love to hear that. Guys, again, man, anything you want to ask me about that process, anything, now's the time to do it, bro. Super sticker donation. This is how I make my living, guys. I am on the clock right now. This is work. I am going to go thrifting after this show, but right now I'm working, bro. Russo number 1. Did you have creative meetings with guys like Bruce, Pat, Vince, etc. before sitting down? No. Zero. Bruce, Pat, JR had nothing to do with the writing of the shows. Everybody stayed in their own lane. You know, Pat was an agent. I didn't step on Pat's toes. JR was talent relations. I didn't step on JR's toes. And in turn, they never stepped on my shows, on my toes. Everybody, Russo, did what they did best, bro. So no, there was no one else involved in that process except the three of us. Luis Martinez, Bischoff recently said, why do you cover wrestling if you hate it so much? To find hobbies, and he basically said you are a failure at life and talking bad about wrestling is the only thing you're good at. Okay, so let me cover. Bischoff recently said, why do you cover wrestling if you hate it so much? Okay, how many people out there go to a job every day that they hate because they need to make a living? How many people? Does everybody watching this show love their freaking job? No, bro. That's why it's called a job. Covering wrestling is a job. Why do I cover wrestling? Because I've got 30 years of expertise in the freaking business. God, bro, if everybody loved their job, this would be a much, much, much different world. To find hobbies, and he basically said, you were a failure in life. Guys, did I just not tell you about my beautiful mountain Airbnb cabin upstate New York? Did I just not tell? Let me see if I could. I don't know if I can. You know what, guys? Here, hold on for a second. Here, look. You guys don't believe me? Here, look. See. Welcome back, Vince. Your reservations checking out today, Dylan. See, guys, I'm a failure. I'm a failure. I got a booming Airbnb business. Thank God I worked very, very hard for me and my wife. Worked very hard for it. It's our retirement, bro. We took our retirement money and we invested it in an Airbnb. So, Eric, quite frankly, I don't need to find hobbies. I'm busy with the Airbnb. As you could see, somebody just checked out today. Dylan, my buddy Dylan is leaving today. So talking bad about wrestling is the only thing you're good at. No, bro, I talk bad about wrestling, Luis, because I'm disappointed in wrestling. Because I know how good it can be. I know how good it can be. They just have people in there, bro, that don't have a clue to what they're doing. It's that simple. Canadian Citizen. WWE should be 6 to 8 months a year, 2-hour Raw weekly. That's it. Classic. How can I miss you if you don't go away? I mean, Canadian Citizen. I'm not going to argue that, but I think you could still have a compelling show on a weekly basis. We proved that in the Attitude Era. Now, without a shadow of a doubt, 2 shows, 3 hours is absolutely ridiculous, bro. Absolutely ridiculous. Luis, what's up, bro? Big fan, Vince, but WWE is making so much money, and that's the whole point of having a business. Why would they take risk if their sponsors aren't happy? Luis, I'm going to say this. They're making a lot of money. Nobody is doubting that. What I am telling you is I think a bad product is going to catch up with them. God, bro, Luis, if I own a baseball franchise and we are selling out every single game, but all of a sudden the team starts falling a little and the team gets worse and worse and worse, and they're not making any changes, and it's the same lineup, and it's the same 9 players on the field, and it's the same old, people are going to stop coming to the games. That is a fact. So my thought is, if they don't improve the product, it is going to catch up with them. You are right, Luis. Right now, they don't have to do a damn thing. But if they continue to put a bad product on the field, that's going to catch up with them. KS, favorite SNL skit. I was a big fan. Remember when Kristen Wiig, I think her name was Sue. I think the character was Sue. Remember when they used to let Sue in on secrets and surprises, but she could never keep a secret or a surprise, and she would be busting at the seams, wanting to tell somebody? I'm pretty sure it was Sue. Those are my favorite skits. What's up, Frank? Frank, I tried to pronounce your name a couple days ago. Frank Log Lissy. You wrote most viewed wrestling of all time and never got credit since Vince never had credits. After the show, Trips writes a crap show and gets all the credits. Do you think there should be credits after Raw? Frank, if you're going to give credits after Raw, then you need to roll the credits of everybody involved in the show. Everybody, bro. Camera guys, audio guys, gaffers, best boys, directors, producers, not just two people. Bro, hundreds of people work on that show, not just two people. So you're either going to name everybody or nobody at all. That's my 2 cents. Brian says Vince worked 20 hours a day. That's crazy. Absolutely, he did, Brian. Absolutely. I told you about the power naps, bro. Literally, man, he would sleep in 15-minute intervals. Literally, bro. Real numbers. Thank you, my friend. Do ring rats, ribs, and partying still exist in pro wrestling today? It will always exist in pro wrestling, real numbers. It's the wrestling bubble. I clearly don't think it exists to the level that it once did. No way, no how, but it definitely does still exist. Ben Myers, the writer's room looks like an over-exaggerated think tank. Bro, think tanks are supposed to be comfortable. Think tanks are supposed to be, Ben, an environment where you can think in. Not an environment, bro, where you're sitting on eggshells and your boss is sitting at the head of the table and God forbid you say the wrong thing. Luis Martinez, what are your thoughts on the Ring Boy scandal? Luis, I wasn't there, bro. Like I wasn't there. So, I read about that like everybody else reads about it. For so many Ring Boys to come forward, I'm sure there had to be some shenanigans going on. It's like, bro, when you got 50 women coming forward about Bill Cosby, bro, something had to be going on. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, bro, I wasn't there back then. But with there being so many Ring Boys coming forward, yeah, bro, there was probably some stuff going on there. But again, I wasn't there. I did not live through that era. All right, guys, listen, I want to tell you this, man. I do shows like this every single day. And listen, man, when Eric Bischoff talks about me hating the business, no, bro, I hate the television show. I hate their television show. It's a bad television show. Now, normally when I watch bad television shows, I just change the channel, bro. I just change the channel. If it's a bad television show, I'm not going to watch it anymore. However, the subscribers of Russo Brand, Sports Kita, they pay me to watch these shows and get my opinion. So since this is a job and I am on the clock, they pay me for a service. So I watch the shows and give my opinion. That's what I get paid to do. I don't even know what the question was. Anyway, guys, I do shows like this all week long, every day of the week, bro. And I got a great crew. Stevie Richards, Ben Hameen, Stevie Ray of Harlem Heat, EC3, the Disco Inferno, Al Snow. We do all these shows together. And guys, I put my money where my mouth is. I'm an entertainer, guys. I ain't a wrestling dirt sheet, mark, bullshit, gossip. I ain't into that stuff. I'm here to entertain you. If you take wrestling seriously, I'm not the guy for you. I am not the guy for you. However, man, if you want to try us, I'm giving you a free week, man, to try us. You could hear all the shows. Just go to patreon.com/Russo TWC and sign up for your free week of the brand. VZQ, big fan. You said if you tear up for wrestling, you are a mark. But you admitted to crying for TV shows and movies. No, that's not what I said. That's not what I said, big fan. Big fan. I'll tell you what I said. I got my sheet right here, bro. I got my sheet right here. If you cried when Cody Rhodes finished his story, not if you cry, not if you tear up for. I've teared up during some wrestling things. Sometimes I tear up when an angle works, bro. It's great to see an angle work. That's not what I said. I said, if you teared up when Cody Rhodes finished his story, that's what I said, bro. VZQ, be careful, bro. Misquoting me. I'm a stickler for that, bro. Do you hear the drums, Alejandro? Why do the marks online say you, Vince, is the main reason WCW died off? That's been debunked already. They ignore the great ratings you did for the business and your segments. Guys, it's right here on the list again, Alejandro. You hate any form of entertainment in your wrestling. It's that simple. Wrestling marks hate entertainment. They want 20-minute fake wrestling matches with a lot of flip-flop and flying. Period. End of story, bro. Because they think it's real. They think it's real, bro. So they just want to see wrestling matches. I'm not a wrestling match guy, bro. Never have been, never will be. Luis, thoughts on Pat being accused in the scandal? Luis, I got to tell you, man, I spent a lot of time with Pat. I spent a lot of time at Pat's house. Me and my wife had dinner with Pat and his partner. Bro, I never, ever, ever, ever had a single issue with Pat Patterson. Ever. I love the dude, bro. I love the dude. That's all I can say. You know, all these other allegations and stuff, Luis, you got to understand, I wasn't there for any of that, bro. I wasn't around for any of that to see anything or hear anything. But as a human being, I love the guy. I absolutely loved Pat, man. I spent a lot of time with Pat, bro. Hazard. Was there ever a storyline or gimmick you loved that never made it to TV? And what happened behind the scenes that kept it from happening? No, bro. I pretty much did everything I wanted to do. Hazard. I hated when they when Vince said we had to pull the plug on Goldust because sponsors were not understanding the character. And I was not happy with that. But outside of that, I pretty much got to do what I wanted to do. Alec, when I'm depressed, I imagine Tony Khan embracing me into his warm bosom and whispering in my ear. That's awesome. I love that, Alec. Alec, I swear to God, I'd kill for a Tony Khan hug. And I really mean that. I would kill to be resting my head within the bosom of Tony Khan. Guys, I'm going to wrap this up. If you want to get in your last minute questions, get them in now. Super sticker donation. I want to tell you guys, if you are watching on YouTube, please, bro, please like the channel, leave your comments, subscribe to the channel. It really helps us out. Guys, I also want to tell you, you could follow me on X at the Vince Russo. I am on Twitch, guys, like every other day, man. And I always talk to you guys just like this. Probably, I'd say at least 3 times a week. And that is twitch.tv/Vince Russo Live. And of course, man, go get your free week of Russo's brand at patreon.com/RussoTWC. Was Beaver Cleaver a work or meant to go far? Beaver Cleaver was a work, bro, but obviously it went way, way, way over the head of Wrestling Marks. Jonathan, I can see TKO unloading the WWE. Jonathan, so can I. And as per the brilliant Ben Hameen, when we look at where this thing is going, I would not be the least bit surprised if the Saudis bought the WWE. And I don't want to take credit for that. I don't take credit for nothing. That's not me. Ben Hameen. Guys, if you subscribe to Russo's brand and you hear Master Shoot Theater, we get all these in-depth conversations. And WWE is getting to a point where not many people are going to be able to afford to buy it. But check it out, guys. Go get your free week. I can't tell you enough. Guys, after the free week, if you want to stick around, bro, it's $3 a month. It's 75 cents a week. Ryan Potter, how long until WWE do a pure A1 generation? Who knows, bro? Ryan, who knows, man? The stuff they're doing with AI today, bro, who knows? Jeezer wants a yeet or no yeet. You got it, bro. Here we go.
Yeet. No yeet. Yeet. No yeet. Yeet. No yeet. Yeet. No yeet.
All right, there we go. Luis! Bischoff excused Hogan's racist remarks and dull apology because he was on pills. We'll never listen to his show again. That is horrible, bro. That is horrible, man. You've got to take responsibility for yourself, bro. Like, come on, bro. Like, seriously, that's ridiculous. That is absolutely ridiculous. So he was on pills when he made the remarks, and then he was on pills with the dull apology. So both times he was on pills, Luis. That's weak, bro. That's weak. Russo, I will tell Saudi to make you head of creative, bro. Guys, I love doing these shows with you guys. I love being real. I'm not looking, obviously. Bro, you know what I get all the time? Vince, you're being bitter because they don't hire you. Bro, if I'm trying to be hired by the WWE, this is really a poor way to go about it. I would think if anybody with any kind of pull or stroke at the WWE were watching this show, I don't think anybody would say, hey, you know what? We need to hire Vince Russo, bro. He's been burying us for the last hour. I don't think that would be a very smart decision. Guys, I do these shows and I'm honest and I tell the truth. And I have the freedom to do that because I don't have any ties with the WWE. I don't have a Legends contract. I'm not looking to be called for Hall of Fame appearances. I don't have any ties with AEW. Bro, the only ties I have to professional wrestling is to russosbrand.com. Those are my paid subscribers. I've been doing this for 10 years, bro. My subscribers are number one, bro. I work for you. I don't work for the WWE. I don't work for AEW. I work for you. And I want to thank you guys, man, for supporting me, bro, for 10 years. It's been a really long ride, bro. Guys, please, man, patreon.com/Russo TWC. Get your free week. If you like it, bro, it is only...
The other thing that beat him was a Hallmark movie.
A Hallmark movie beat him, bro. Well, hold on. This beat him too. Hold on.
Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer did a big number as well.
Rudolph did a big number. Guys, have a great weekend, man. Have a great weekend. Enjoy life, man. If you get depressed, put on ABBA videos. I'm telling you, bro, they work all the time. Guys, whether you believe or not, I'm going to tell you, God bless you, man. Whether you hate me or love me, I don't care. God bless each and every one of you, man. Have a great weekend. I'll see you next. Oh, hold on. Hold on. Don't go anywhere yet. How could I forget? Guys, please. All prayers, all well wishes, all thoughts, all love to the great Jim Ross. Please, guys, I am telling you, I was around a lot of assholes, bro. I was around a lot of sharks. I was around a lot of politicians, a lot of liars, a lot of con men, a lot of snake oil salesmen, a lot of them. And quite frankly, that's the reason I am not in the business anymore. I could not stand being around these people. Guys, the position of power that Jim Ross was in as head of talent relations at the WWE, and really Vince McMahon's right-hand man, bro, this dude did not have a political bone in his body. Never buried me behind my back, never stabbed me in the back, never talked crap about me. If JR ever had anything to say to me, he said it to my face. You guys have no idea how rare that is in this business. How rare that is in this business. Because JR was a man's man, bro. He was a straight shooter. If he had a problem with you, if he had a grudge with you, he told you, bro. He told you. There's really something, bro, in those Oklahomans. That's what I love about JR, man. This business is infested with liars. Liars, flat out liars. If I can work my way up the ladder, I am going to step on people. I am going to shit on people. I am going to kick people in the teeth. I am going to lie about people. I am going to slander people. I am going to do whatever it takes to be in favor and get more and more and more power. Not JR. And I love the dude, bro. I love the dude. I tried desperately to talk JR into taking over TNA. Desperately. I was on the phone with JR for hours because I knew what JR could have done for TNA. I knew what he could have done for TNA. So, guys, JR's dealing with some health issues. Let's stop everything, guys. Everything. You know what, bro? I'm going to say a prayer right here, man. If you don't want to hear the prayer, if you don't believe in God, bro, exit. I feel a need with you people. I know there's a lot of people out there that love JR. Let's pray for JR. Oh, God, please. JR is a great man, and you created a great man, and you put JR on this planet for a reason. And JR got the job done, man. He touched a lot of lives. He was a stand-up and honest man in a very in a very ugly business. And he represented you. And he always did what was right. And JR's had some hardships in his life. The passing of his unbelievable wife, Jan, which was just a very, very sad day. He's dealt with a lot in his life, and now he's dealing with an illness. God, please embrace JR. Let him know everything's going to be okay. Walk him through this. Let him feel the love of all those people that he entertained for so many years. I don't think JR has a clue to how many smiles he put on people's faces. So God, please, man, we lift him up to you. Take him in your loving arms and let him know that you are there every step of the way and he could lean on you. JR, we love you, bro. We love you. We are all praying for you, bro. You are, bro, come on. Bro, your idols are John Wayne and Mickey Mantle, bro. Could we have any two stronger individuals, bro? And that's what JR was, the John Wayne and Mickey Mantle of wrestling, and he always will be. Pray for JR. JR, God bless you. Guys, thanks for praying with me, man. The power of prayer, bro. God bless you all. God bless JR. See you next time, man.
In a room of shadow, wrestling comes to life.